Okay, just allowing the body the support and the space to settle. Just finding the comfort in the lower back. You can actually feel the lower back and even the hips settle down towards the feet. Feel that your lower back is at ease and comfortable. And just welcome the body. So as we lay back, we can cultivate a sense of kindness. Just embracing, welcoming the body. You can feel as well your neck to be balanced. If it feels good to release the neck gently from side to side. We can offer a few moments to just soften and settle the neck to center. And turning out the arms, you can allow the backs of your palms to settle and rest. Just feeling the palms open and the heart open. And just gently arrive into feeling the body. So feel how the chest and the lungs expands even as we gently turn the palms open. And feel a deep release, a deep opportunity to rest your arms and your upper back, the neck as well, to release and to soften. So just giving a few moments, a few kind of gentle breaths, just to give the body permission to settle into ground. Okay. So we'll offer a few moments for exhalations. It will just be a nice opportunity to let go any physical holding, let go any tension in the body. Enjoy a few soft, gentle sighs. We will breathe out 3 more gentle breaths. And we can actually change the cross of the legs just to balance the stretch. Just continue to deeply release the lower back and your hips. And the abdomen just to settle and broaden and release. Especially supporting this letting go and creating space and softness in the lower back as we breathe out. We'll just take a few gentle exhales. And we'll begin vibrating together. We'll vibrate on to center. So we can breathe in gently. We'll vibrate. Twice more. I'll just settle a few moments into feeling and listening into the heart center. As we can acknowledge how the body feels and create a gentle intention to support our harmony and our wholeness. And slowly we can reach the arms and stretch just to awaken. You can raise your knees when you feel comfortable to ground your feet. And you can draw the knees in to release the back body. And we'll offer a gentle twist just to awaken the spine. You can ground your hands either side of the shoulders. And softly the knees over to the left side. You can gently release the gaze if it's comfortable towards the right. Just offer a few conscious breaths to just release, relax completely the spine. And then we'll roll the knees across the body to the right side and softly gaze towards the left. And we'll spend a few moments on our right side. It's quite relaxing for the heart. Just enjoy that opportunity to rest a moment. And then we'll raise the trunk up very slowly, bringing the heart and the head up lastly. Come up nice and gently. So once again, I'd say good morning. Welcome. And feel free to message if there's any muscles or joints or menses that need awareness. So feel free to reach out and send a private message. We're going to be exploring some elements to prepare for inversions. So we're going to be doing some standing folds just to invert the body and support the circulation. And we'll also be doing some preparation for headstand, shoulder stand practices. So we're going to have fun going a little upside down this morning. Okay, so we'll come on to our knees for Vinyasa. You'll take your knees just about hip width apart. You can have your big toes together. And just ease out the ankles and your knees and your hips as you sit back. Can be quite a nice release for the joints. And then go on lengthening on the fingertips. You can raise your wrists and your elbows and the armpits. And even for a moment, raise your gaze ahead to energize and elongate the sides of the body. And then allow the head to settle. You can deeply release the head and the neck. Just offer a few moments to breathe into the side ribs. It's a nice opportunity to warm up the body, the rib cage, and the sides as you reach and breathe. And at the same time, let the head and the heart just rest, very calm, very centered. Allow the head to settle. And then gazing forward, we'll take a moment to turn the toes down, just to get a little bit more reach for our dog pose. We're going to work into down face dog. So you can sit back with your hips to your heels, and then go on lengthening through the palms, lengthening through the arms, reaching forward. You're going to raise the hips as you inhale. You can ground down on the thumb mounds. Spread wide the palms. So there's a broad and steady feeling in your hands and your wrists. And just lightening your hips. You can raise your heels, raise your hips. And just taking our gaze towards the hands, we're going to work a little bit on stabilizing the shoulders. So you can look forward towards your hands. And see if you can roll the outside of your arms down, the triceps down. And see if you can roll to lift your biceps up. So your arms are rolling into a nice stable position. And then allow your head to just rest and align with the heart center. We're going to cultivate the breath. So as we invert the body, we're also going to invert our attention to work first with the breath. And then allow body and alignment to actually follow the flow of the breath. So we'll do 2 more gentle, conscious breaths through the body. Then gazing ahead, we're going to step nice and wide, so gently forward the right leg, left leg. We'll come halfway up onto our shin bones, so we can take a nice lift. And also check into your feet. As you work with the forward bends, can you turn your toes in slightly and create more space between your ankles and your heels? And as you lift up onto the shins, feel how that space in your feet, and especially the heels, a little broad. Feel the lower back spacious. You can actually firm down on the feet, so you can feel the outside of your hips become a little firm and stable. And as you draw your feet away from the midline, can we invite a sense of broadness further into the sacrum and the lower back. So you can actually come right onto the top of the shins if it feels good, and like a back arch, you can lift your collarbones, draw your shoulder blades a little bit in. And this will bring us to the awareness that we're really going to cultivate around your thoracic and your middle back. Just invite the shoulders in to strengthen. And do a few conscious breaths into the space of your kidneys. It's quite energizing and just relaxing for the kidneys. Enjoy a few gentle breaths. And then with an exhalation, we'll allow the spine to keep the length as you bind your arms. You can keep that strength in your upper back and allow the head to completely settle, completely rest. And once again, ground into breath awareness. Let the head be completely passive, so you can allow your crown of your head to release to the floor. You can feel your chin draws gently back towards your collarbones. And just invite length, invite freedom. If the lower back is a little tender, we can always have support for your back, reaching onto the shins. And otherwise, we'll just take a moment to release the spine. You can change the cross of your arms just to balance the release on the shoulders. And just invite softness into the upper back, and the neck. Allow the head to settle and rest. Yeah, then we're going to reach the hands onto the top of the shins to come up. We'll inhale. Let the breath guide you. So follow the breath, inhaling as you come up halfway. Exhaling as you support the lumbar. And then inhaling, we'd raise the spine gently. And bring the feet to a moment to center if it feels good, just to balance your pelvis. You can soften in your knee joints. Just take a moment to feel our center. Just gaze softly, finding the eyes can keep us centered and relaxed. And with an exhalation, we bring the hands to a gesture of prayer. So we'll do Namaskar. And alongside the body, you can exhale and release the hands down. Follow the breath as you raise up the arms, inhaling. And cross the thumbs to get a gentle lift of your armpits and the shoulders. And then exhale, we can turn gently to the right side, just a soft, gentle twist. Inhale to center. You can raise your rib cage, raise the armpits. You can feel the scapular lift as you connect the fingers. And with the next breath out, you can turn gently to the opposite side. Inhaling to find our center. And lift your gaze gently to raise your heart. Lift the thoracic. And then exhaling and release the hands alongside the body. Parting the feet, we can stand as wide as the edge of the mat. And slowly would fold down, exhaling. Take a moment to deeply release and fold. Let the upper back and the neck just lengthen and release down a moment. And breathing in, we're going to straighten the arms. Come up halfway to lengthen. And then exhaling, you can place the hands onto the lower back. So really find the strength in your upper part of your back. You can raise your armpits and your chest. Lifting your elbows towards the ceiling. Feel how the shoulder blades move in to strengthen the back, to strengthen the upper part of your spine. And then with the hands on the hips, you can keep lifting your elbows upwards as we start to lengthen the sides of the body, and the head down to rest. Again, if the back is a little bit tender this morning, you can always use support of your hands onto your shins. So keep that in mind at any point. And feel a little softness in the knees. You can just deeply release your pelvis quite freely forward into the fold. And as you lift your elbows towards the ceiling, can you allow your heart and your head to deeply rest down? And then we're going to soften the knees to ground your hands. We ground the hands beneath us. And step your right leg back in line with your right hand. We'll move through lunging. Your left leg back in line with your left hand. You can raise your hips. Go into a nice deep release of your hips lifted. And even draw your heart and your chest a little up into the body. You can feel your sternum lifts away from the floor. You can draw your ribs into the body. Just feel a nice steadiness in your shoulders. Find that grounding in the inner part of your hands. Can that give us the strength to lengthen the hips and the sides of the body back as we stabilize and just strengthen the upper part of your back. And allow the head to deeply rest here. Grounding through the body into a conscious breath. And then slowly exhaling, we'll soften down onto our knees. We can sit back if it's good with the toes together and the knees together. If you need any support, you can actually take a blanket for your ankles or a blanket for your knees. So just see that your joints are comfortable. We're going to sit a moment upright. When you're ready, there's no rush. We're going to sit upright and interlace the fingers. So we're going to take a moment to bind the fingers and the thumbs. And as you exhale, we'll invert the palms. Inhaling, you can raise the hands above the head. So it's also known as mountain pose. As you bind the fingers and raise up, find a lightness and expansive quality in the spine. And deeply ground through the tops of your feet, the metatarsals. You can firm gently around the hips and the lower back. And go on softening your neck. See that there's a little bit of space in your collarbones. You can relax the skin on your upper back and your neck. Even allow the face to soften as you breathe, as you invite a smile. And then slowly exhaling, you can release the palms, in line with the heart. And a moment you can part your knees, take your knees about hip distance, and then we'll fold forward, reaching to lengthen. So you can lengthen through the sides of the trunk and allow the head and the heart to deeply settle, deeply rest. And we'll gaze forward gently, just taking a moment to turn your toes deeply under. So we'll be preparing for dog pose down. Toes down. You can broaden your palms to root down. And as you're ready to raise up, you can inhale and raise gently the hips. And keep your chest almost in line with your shoulders. So we can actually come a little bit out of a deep feeling in the shoulders. And go more towards just strengthening the shoulder girdle. So it may be even nice to look towards your hands. Just notice how your chest gently lifts. And allow the gaze forward. You can keep looking forward a few moments as you work just to stabilize your shoulders down, the triceps to roll down, and your biceps to roll up. Try and get the little creases of your elbows to turn up towards the ceiling, and the thumb mounds of your hands to ground down into the earth. And then deeply let the head rest in line with the heart. Just invite length, invite space into the vertebra of your spine and your neck. Give it a nice release across the neck muscles here. And then we'd softly gaze forward and we'd step towards the front. You can take a nice wide stance once again. You can widen your feet. See that the edges of the feet are balanced with the sticky mat. And then you can breathe into to lengthen. You can raise up onto your shin bones. Get a nice energizing quality as you lift. You can actually gain a good height and good space across the front of the abdomen. And then exhaling, you can actually support the hands behind us. So take a gentle bind of the hands. Lifting your upper arms, lifting your elbows. You can actually let your hands rest open on the sacrum. So just let the hands rest onto the lower back. And the upper arms and the armpits to lift. As we just strengthen and energize the back line of the body. And then with the deep exhale, we're going to look forward, lengthening. So you can lengthen through the sides of the body. Keep lifting the upper arms. And create space in your neck. Just allow the neck to relax. Lower back to rest. So lower back is a little tender. Once again, feel free to support your shins. Put your hands onto the shin bones. If you feel the back is a little tender. You can allow the head to deeply rest. So just offer a moment for the crown of the head to settle down to the earth. And then you can reach for the shin bones. You're going to inhale, coming up halfway slowly. You can exhale as you support the lower back. And then inhale as you take your time raising the heart, raising the head. And Samastitihi, we can find our center. On a moment to reflect, pause. Okay, I trust we're all comfortable and we're warming up gently. We're going to go with this little bit of theme of folding forward. So we're going to do a lot of the forward extensions. Please be sensitive of the back. If the back is tender at any point, go for support or go for Virasana. And in between, we're going to do a few of the bent leg poses just to keep a nice balance. So while we're at the top edge of the mat, we're going to work into chair pose. We'll do Utkatasana. And let's exhale and start to lower down gently into our kind of squatting position here. Let your hips and your knees and your shins shift back, grounding deeply into the heels. And then as you inhale, you can raise your arms, lengthen up through the sides of your body. And you can feel the hips sitting deeply back and down. Stay connected to your breath. So let the neck and the shoulders soften as you breathe out. And then breathing in, you're going to straighten the legs, straighten the arms. You can exhale the hands to prayer. And then inhaling, you can raise the arms alongside the body. Lengthening up, you can reach. And then exhaling down, a soft bend in the knees. And gently fold. Have a bit of space between your feet. So the back and the neck can deeply release. Bend your knees as much as you need to ground your hands comfortably. And then inhaling, we're going to gaze halfway up and lift to lengthen. We'll step with the right leg back and we'll move into our low lunging position. So you can soften the back knee down and the top of the back foot flat. With an exhalation, you can settle the hips down, grounding through the mounds of your feet. And inhaling, you'd raise the arms, lengthening, lifting, and creating space in the sides. You can lift your heart gently. See that your upper part of your back is supported and stable. But let your neck relax. Let your face relax. With the next exhalation, you can slowly lower the hands down, exhaling. And then we'll step the front foot back for downward dog. So softly lift the hips. You can stabilize in your shoulders. And let the head gently settle. You can actually take a moment to look forward to your hands. Just feel how the bottom of your chest lifts. The shoulders can stabilize down. And allow your head to just neutral to rest. And most essentially, the breath. Let the breath draw us deeper and deeper into awareness. We'll soften down the knees, so we lower the knees, the chin and the chest between the hands. Exhale as you go down. And then inhale as you ground the tops of the feet. So you're going to come into Bhujangasana the Cobra. So just lifting the hands as well away from the floor, we can have a good opportunity to strengthen the back. So the tops of the feet to ground with the hips down. And as you lightly inhale, you can raise your elbows, raise your armpits, raise your chest gently. And then as you exhale, we'll ground the hands, the knees, the tops of the feet down to lift the sit bones. And then with the next in-breath, you can sit back, hips to your heels. You can lengthen and strengthen the shoulders. And then inhaling into dog face down. You're going to breathe in to lift the hips. Even lift your gaze a moment towards your hands. And actually let your chest lift a little bit away from the floor. Feel the arms can become more stable as you roll your upper arms outwards, away from your ears. Triceps go down, biceps roll up. Feel the strength in the upper back. You can deeply allow our head to settle into rest. Gentle breaths. And then we'll softly ground the left knee towards the back edge of the mat. We'll step the right leg ahead of us for our low lunging. You can exhale and let the hips settle down, softening. And then breathing in, you'd raise your trunk, raise your arms to be aligned with your shoulders. And feel a good lift as you reach your arms. You can lighten the spine and the upper body. Go on, lifting your thoracic, your shoulder blades to open the heart. And then with the next exhalation, we'll ground the hands alongside the front foot. You can inhale to step forward and go gently lifting. Hands onto the shin bones to concave, to strengthen the back body. And then exhaling, you would softly fold, widening the elbows. Allowing the head and the neck to a moment of quiet. And then we can reach the hands alongside the trunk as you inhale, lifting the arms, lifting the trunk together gently. With our feet together, we can bring the hands gently down to the heart center. Finding a moment of pause, finding a moment of reflection. To bow our head softly down, just to release the neck. And then we'll slowly take time to open our eyes. So we'll work with the length of the mat. So if you want to just part your stance on the length of the mat. We're going to work a little bit with our lateral movements, first from extended hands and feet. See that the feet are light and face forward. Just a moment. And a few gentle breaths here. Okay, so you can ground on the outer edges of your feet. Feel that the feet are nice and stable. And with an exhalation, you can support your hands onto the sacrum, the lower back. And as we're going forward to fold, just check in with the toes. The big toes, can we turn them in slightly more, just to create more space between your ankles and your heels. And then with an in-breath, raising the armpits and the chest, you can gently draw your elbows back to release the neck. And then with an exhalation halfway down, you can have a little softness in your knees. And then as you breathe in, lifting the heart, lifting the elbows, lifting your upper arms. Feel a nice stability and strength in the back line of your body. You can have a little softness in the knees, a little soft bend in the knees. And then exhaling, we can reach the hands beneath the shoulders. A little deeper bend if you need to ground. And then to lift, you breathe in and straighten the arms. You can lengthen the sides. Lift the chest. Feel a nice energizing quality as we raise the heart, raise the gaze. And then looking forward, we're going to keep grounding your hips back. So feel a firmness in the heels and the outside of your hips. So your hips and your heels stable. And then reaching, lengthening the sides of the body forward. Can be on the fingertips. Just to create lightness. And allow the head to gently bow down to the heart to rest. Enjoy the breath as we ground into the body. Gazing forward, we'll start to walk the hands a little closer. You bring the feet slightly closer as well, just like a medium stance. And when you're ready to stabilize your back, you can exhale, supporting your lumbar. And then inhale as you raise the trunk. Okay, we'll keep the legs apart as we work laterally. We're going to take a nice broad stance. Turning the left foot in slightly. We're going to revolve the whole right leg out to 90 degrees. We're going to work into our extended triangle, so centering the trunk as you breathe in. We can just offer a little micro bend in the front leg and really stabilize down through the mounds of our feet. You can exhale as you ground the back hand, and inhaling to lengthen, you can lift, create space, and let your breath out guide you down. Exhale as you gently go down with the hand onto the shin. You can just deeply ground into feeling the feet. Excuse me. See your gaze is soft and neutral as we work into the pose. As you have a nice connection to the legs, you can feel the thighs turning outwards, especially the front leg. We can root down on that big toe mound of the front leg, front foot, nice and stable. We go on turning the front leg out to really awaken the core of the body. You can feel also the arms turning outwards. As you roll the arms, feel the shoulder blades going a little deeper in to strengthen and to open your upper back. Try and turn the chest, turn your heart towards the ceiling gently. If you're comfortable to gaze up and reach up, you can take a moment to focus at the thumb tips. And then with an inhalation, you'd raise your trunk. And we'd work on the same side, so we can keep the legs aligned in this way with the next breath out. We're going to go slowly down, just exploring our warrior lunge. So feel a deep extension through your back leg. The outer edge of your back foot is firm. And as you gaze forward in the line of your chest, just encourage your trunk as well to open towards the center. And again, to activate the core, bring awareness to the front thigh turning out. Inner thigh turns out. The outer thigh turns down. And for our focal point, we can look to the front middle finger gently. Just with a soft gaze, a soft breath. And then we'll inhale to straighten the front leg and turn the feet to face forward. And just check in we're going to do a forward fold in between. Check in that our toes turn in gently. You can actually just ground your shoulders, ground your elbows back. We'll inhale to lift and lengthen. And then exhaling, softly folding. Little gentle bend in the knees, come halfway down. And then inhaling to strengthen the back, we'll come halfway up. Lifting the elbows, lifting your armpits. And feel a firmness in the outside of your hips as you firm down into the outer heels, the big toe mounds. Feel a firmness in the pelvis and the core of the body. And if it's good with the hands on the hips, we're going to keep lifting the chest and stabilizing your shoulders as you go down. Oh, it's a nice release for the back body, okay? To allow the head to deeply rest here. If the back needs a bit of support, you can ground your hands, but otherwise the hands on the hips. it's a little bit more unsupported. So just feel that we can breathe easily. Feel that we can breathe freely. As you breathe in, you can just lightly soften your knees. And with an exhalation, you can stabilize your feet. The three corners of your feet to root deeply down. Let that strength of the feet allow the spine and the heart and the head to deeply release. Okay, we'll reach our hands gently down beneath the shoulders. Inhale as we come halfway up. And bring your feet in just a medium stance. Feel that you're stable and comfortable. And then you can support your back as you're ready, exhaling. And then inhaling as you raise the trunk. Here we're going to work laterally to the left side. So you can take a moment to turn your back foot in, your right foot in slightly. And the whole left leg now turns out to 90 degrees. We can recenter as you breathe in. Just a little micro bend, so just a soft, gentle bend at the knee joint. For triangle, we'll inhale and lengthen. So create space. And then use your breath out. Follow the breath all the way down as you breathe out. You can inhale to lift and open your chest. Feel a nice strength and stability of your upper back, your shoulder blades. And go on breathing into that space that we create in the heart, in the region of the lungs. Just enjoy a few gentle breaths through the body. Lastly, you can turn your heart and your gaze up towards the ceiling. Just a few moments to focus at the thumb tip. And then raise up with your inhalation. Let your in-breath guide you up. Breathing in, you can lift gently the trunk. We're going to work on the same side, so gently exhaling with lunge. So we soften into Virabhadra, deep warrior lunge. You may want to widen your stance if you need to, or shorten your stance a little bit. See your knees right vertical above your ankle. Maybe for sister, you can come a little closer with the back foot to see how that feels. I hope it's good. Just to really stabilize the outside of the back foot. And then just feel your knees right above the ankle for that stability. Hope it feels nice and strong. And feel your trunk turns towards the longer edge of your mat. As your front thigh turns away, turns out. And then let the focus go to the middle finger. Once we find ourselves settled in the pose, it's quite strong. So settle into the breath. And then we'll slowly inhale. You can straighten the front leg. Turning the feet neutral, we're going to just ground our hands. We're going to also prepare for our forward extension in the center. So you can shift your toes in slightly, big toes in. Can you part the heels a little bit to create space? And with an inhalation, you'd raise the front of the body, the chest and the armpits. And then exhaling, we'll come halfway down. Inhale, we'll concave the back. And then exhaling, we're going to reach gently down beneath the shoulders. You can come up onto the fingertips as you breathe in, create space. Feel free to ground your hands if your back needs that support. Please listen to the back and go gently. And otherwise, we can reach for the ankles as a variation. Just to widen your elbows, you can create space in the upper back. Go on lengthening through the sides of the body. And deeply allow the head to settle, the head to rest. For a gentle breath. You can actually feel the firmness in the feet as you soften the knee joints. You can really stabilize the mounds of the feet. And feel the same in the upper body. If you bend and widen your elbows, you can actually stabilize your shoulder girdle. The elbows softly out and the shoulder blades turning into the back, into the midline. And we can ground the hands to the earth beneath us. Inhale and come up halfway. And here, bring your feet a little closer. So bring your feet in about your hip distance slowly. You can support your back, excuse me, as you're ready, exhaling. And then inhaling it, raise the trunk gently. So just enter our feet. Okay, we're going to do a little balancing tree pose, just to also get into the core and our balancing nice and stable. So we can stabilize our right foot as our base. So you can actually raise the toes up of your right foot as you root down. And then the left foot we rest gently at the ankle. So here find the bent knee gently rolls out as the hips align towards the center. So find a moment of steadiness where we can root down through the mounds of your feet. And your eyes also gently focused and grounded. Find the flow of our breath as we steady the eyes and we steady the breath. So the mind becomes steady. And then you'll notice our balance as well is quite grounded. So as you feel grounded, you can choose to move the foot beneath your knee joint. Try and keep this alignment and steadiness. You can choose to put it above your knee joint, but avoid putting the foot on the knee itself. Try to go a little higher than the knee or a little bit lower than the knee. Steadiness in our gaze, find a soft focal point. Steadiness in our breath. And you can raise the arms if you feel comfortable, exhaling, palms open. And then inhaling, we'll go for Urdhva Hastasana. Hands facing forward. You can part the hands in line with your shoulders, just to lift, to create space. Now, part the hands to just create space and reach. Gentle breaths. Okay, with an exhalation, you can draw your hands to Namaskar and Samasthiti. Bring our feet to center. And then shifting our way towards the left side. We can even take a moment to raise the toes, just root them out, ground your foot at the ankle. Just take a few moments to find your alignment, hips open forward. The bent knee gently to roll out, to roll back. And find a steadiness in our gaze, a steadiness in our breath. You can choose to adjust the foot if you like. You can keep it at the ankle or beneath your knee. Try and maintain this integrity of space in the groins. That's the most important thing Vrikshasana brings, and the steadiness. So find your placement either above or below the knee. Feel good to turn the palms open. You'd exhale. And then inhaling, we'd reach the hands just in line with the shoulders. You can actually part a little bit wider than the shoulders at first. Have your palms facing forward. We can just relax the shoulders down and broad. And keeping that space in your neck, can you bring the hands in line with the shoulders? And as you reach, just lighten the rib cage. Let the back of your ribs lift as we reach. Gentle gaze, gentle breath. And then with the next exhalation, hands to Namaskar. And then Samastiti. And we'll do Utkatasana in between. This time we'll take the arms above the head at first. So you can inhale and raise the arms. Great good length in the sides. And then exhaling, we'd sit gently back. The shins and your hips and your knees to lower down. As you're trying, can your heart and your arms ascend upwards. And we'll inhale and raise the trunk and the arms. Exhale the hands to Namaskar. We will do another little balancing act of Garuda. Garudasana is the eagle pose. We may value having a block nearby. I'm going to do it with a block. So if you have a block, you can place it on our left side, just on the outside of the feet. Okay, so we'll have the block next to us, either on the medium edge or even on the longer edge. I'll just show us very quickly what we'll do, and then we'll do it together. We can just watch a moment. So we're going to keep a little softness in the standing leg, and then we're going to wrap the foot over to rest on the block. And we'll do both the legs, wrapping, and then we're going to also create broadness in the collarbones. And I'll just show us wrapping the arms. So we're going to keep a broadness across the collarbones, and we're going to catch the ankle or the wrists, and catch the hands if it's possible. Okay, so we'll do a little body knotting. It's part of the body knotting family. Garuda. So take a little moment to bend your left knee and just really root down through the left mounds of your feet. And then you can reach your right foot across just to ground onto the block. You can actually firm down onto the mounds of your feet. See, the block is almost next to your ankle. It's almost beside the body. I just want to wrap a little bit around the shin bone. And then you can exhale and turn the palms and the collarbones broad. Feel here across your chest and your upper neck. There's freedom. Again, find a steadiness in our gaze and our focus. Gentleness through the breath, just a gentle focus on the breath. With the right leg over, we're going to take the right arm under. So you can turn your right palm down. Still keep the broadness across your collarbones. And then the left palm on top. And you can go on reaching for your wrist, reaching for your fingers, your thumb, or the palms of your hands. Try and first soften your elbows down. So just to relax your neck, your upper trapezius. So gentle breath here. So breathing out, can you soften the upper part of your neck and your back to release down? You can even draw your chin gently down and gently back to lengthen and release the neck. And if it feels good to raise your elbows, you can softly lift the elbows. And then you slowly exhale just to release the bind of the hands. And we can release the cross of the legs. We'll take a moment just to balance the weight on our feet. And we can take a reverse bind behind the back. So you can interlace the fingers behind us. And just gently draw the upper arms back. Gently release your neck, your shoulders. Take a few moments to center. I said this kind of preparation of yoga, we're preparing the body. We obviously feel the body warming up, but more and more the mind is being primed to be kind of gentle and present. You can gently relax, just releasing the shoulders, just relaxing. We'll place the support opposite the legs. And we'll stand on our right leg as our grounding base. You can have a little softness in your knee joint as you raise the toes, rooting the mounds of the feet. And then you can cross your leg across the shin. Also rooting down. Feel a nice firmness in the hips as you stabilize through the mounds of your feet. And then exhaling, you can broaden across the collarbones. Feel in the back of the body, the shoulder blades drawn in. And with the left leg on top, we're going to take the left hand underneath. Still keep broadness in your collarbones. We'll go nice and slowly. So you can keep your broad. And then the right hand on top. So keep the collarbones broad as you reach your wrist or reach your thumb. And first, just relax the elbows down, just to decompress the upper back. You can draw your chin gently down, just to lengthen through the neck. Gentle breath into the armpits, into the chest, into the upper back. And if it feels good to raise your elbows, keep a softness in your neck. You raise your elbows and breathe in gently and broaden the collarbones. And then we'll gently exhale. We can take a slow release. And we can just ground and equalize the feet. We can take a change of the cross of the hands. So you can just interlace the hands differently behind us. Just alternate the cross. And just open out the collarbones, broaden across your chest. We'll just take a moment to relax. Okay, we're going to do one more gentle movement through downward dog into some work on the mat. We're going to do the preparation more so for the shoulders. We're going to work to strengthen and just to relax the shoulders. So we can come to the shorter edge of the mat with our feet apart gently. And with an exhalation, you can ground the thumbs on the sacrum. And then inhaling, raising the front of your spine to lengthen. The exhalation will soften down, a little bend in the knees. You just release the head and the heart, and the hands to rest. Breathing inward, come up halfway, lifting the spine, lifting the heart. And then we'll step the right leg back, in line with the right hand. The left leg back, in line with the left hand. And go on stabilizing your shoulders. Allow the head to settle and rest. Just enjoy that inverted feeling. The heart and the head can take a moment to invert and to energize and to relax. And we'll take some time just to ground onto our knees. Gently we can sit back for Vinyasa, just a few moments to settle the arms to rest. So you can widen your elbows in line with your shoulders. And let the head settle in line with the heart to easily rest. And softly would gaze forward. You can start to walk the hands a little closer. Gently raise the trunk. We're going to work a little bit with the preparation for the headstand. It really helps to strengthen the shoulder girdle and also create movement in the upper back. So I'll just explain to us while we're here, and then we can do it while we're upright, and then we're going to actually do it with the hands placed on the mat. So let us do it together just as we're chatting. I'll just show us the placement of the elbows. You would want to wrap your thumbs and your fingers around the outside. And then you would actually find your outside of your shoulders, the outside of your elbows are in line. That'll give us a nice steadiness. And then from there, we're going to interlace your fingers. So you want the palms of the hands, you can see the palms of the hands are actually open. So there's like a cup shape between the palms of your hands. And the fingers are like the coils of this little clay vessel. So you want to keep the fingers quite firm and together. But the palms of the hands are open and quite soft. And then we're actually going to press down the wrist bones onto the floor and the forearms onto the floor. I'll just show us what we'll do. It's very similar to what we've done in dog pose. I'll just take a moment to demonstrate. So it's called our forearm balance actually. So we're going to ground your elbows down. We're going to really take time to place the elbows in line with your shoulders. I'll just show us a good kind of mindful way to place the hands. And then the main integration is to lift your shoulders and your upper back into the body, so to stabilize the shoulders. And you're going to lift the hips. Okay, so you find the upper arms. I'll just show us the upper arms moving away from the floor and the shoulder blades into the back. Okay, and I'll also just show us the recovery in between. We'll just rest and just take a moment to soften the neck. Okay, so we'll work through that together a few times. Take your time to bring your thumbs around both sides and your fingers around the elbows. So just take your thumbs wrap around as well fully. So your elbows are close in. And you can interlace your fingers. Nice firm grip of your fingers. But keep softness in your palms. And a nice cup shape. So we'll press down with the wrist bones. Press down with your forearms. And already you can start to lift your shoulders up the back. And feel the movement of your forearms getting wider. So your upper arms move away from your forearms. Your upper arms, as you press down, move away from the floor. And then you can go on raising your hips gently. So softly gaze to the hands if the neck is comfortable. Just to notice the position of your hands. You can actually cross the thumbs as well if it feels good for the hands. So you can press down on the wrists, press down on the forearms, and keep gently lifting the shoulders. If it feels good to bring the feet to center and walk in a little bit, you can walk in with the feet and keep lifting the upper arms away from the floor. Shoulder blades to ascend up the back. Just gentle breaths. Gentle breaths. We'll take a moment to do our rest and our recovery, so you can sit back as you need to. Just parting the knees. You can even part your hands to rest your upper body. Just take a few moments to deeply release, deeply rest the shoulders. Okay, so we'll practice that again, just a nice repetition. So you'll take your time to find the thumbs wrapping around. I'd even say bring the elbows a little closer. You'd actually feel that little bit of forearms can actually come the elbows a little closer in. And then press down with the elbows, and you can raise up the shoulders, raise up your hips when you're ready. And then we'll bring the feet to center. You can also just observe the hands. If it feels good to look at the hands, see that the hands are open, like a nice soft vessel. You can even cross the thumbs if it feels good, yeah. And just like broaden across your wrists. Feel as you open that vessel of your hands, the upper back can open and soften. And then if you feel good to bring your feet to center line and keeping your hips stable, slowly raising the right leg. You lift the right leg gently. The right hip can settle down to stabilize. And the shoulder blades and the upper arms lifting away from the floor. You can ground and change. Feel free to rest in between. And we'll do the opposite side. So let the outside of the left hip now, the top hip rolls down. And the shoulders to lift gently up the back. To deeply strengthen and relax the shoulders at the same time. And then you'd sit back exhaling. Take a few moments in Vinyasa, and you can actually just let the arms part and the arms settle. Take a few soft breaths into the upper back. And then we'll softly gaze forward. And you can walk the hands a little closer. Okay, we're going to reach for a chair for our last inversion and for our relaxation. So we can gently take time to place the chair on the bottom length of the mat. We're going to do Chatushparasana, this 4-footed pose. It's a nice dynamic back bend. It's a nice work into shoulder stand. So this is everything we've been warming up for, is to kind of nicely relax the spine. So we'll see that the chair is close enough to hold onto the legs of the chair. We'll do it together. I'll just inspire us again to keep looking up and not to move the head around when we go back. So just slowly onto the elbows. Find your spine is balanced as you go down quite mindfully. And you want to be able to hold onto the chair legs, the front legs with your hands. And you can ground the feet onto the chair. If you're unsure about the movement, just take a moment to watch before we go up, just to keep your head and neck neutral. So you're going to press down with the feet. As you inhale, you go up with the pelvis onto the heads of the shoulders. So at this point, you want to not move your head and neck around, and we'll come down nice and slowly. Okay, so when you're ready to raise the hips, you can go up with an in-breath. When you're ready, keeping the neck neutral. It should be a nice deep release for the neck and the shoulders. If it's good to hold a little lower down the legs of the chair, if it's good. If it's good, maybe move a little bit the shoulders away from the chair, I think. And then you can press down with your hips or press down with your heels to raise the hips. For all of us, you can just find a nice lightness in the hips. And just work gently the neck. You'll feel the neck muscles and then the upper back muscles getting a deep release. So just softly let your elbows and your upper arms roll out. You can gently walk the shoulder blades, the heads of the shoulders a little in. Just enjoy a few gentle breaths. If you need to come down, especially if the lower back is a little tender, go nice and slowly as you go in and out of the pose. And just enjoy gentle breaths here. If you feel the need to come down and rest a moment, feel free to exhale and just settle the spine vertebra by vertebra. Especially now, our main focus will shift towards the breath. See, the body is more at ease. The focus to shift a little bit closer to the breath. Gentle breaths here. The last little bit, if you want to inhale and lift the pelvis, almost the pelvis tilts like a back bend. So the front of the pelvis lifts towards your navel. As you ground your heels, we can just take the last moment to invert the pelvis, invert your hips. Feel the heart inverted, and then we'll gradually come down when you're ready, settling the spine vertebra by vertebra down. Let's be very present to feeling. We'll take a few moments to let the legs just settle. And also make sure we warm enough. We're going to take the last little bit of time just to settle and rest. If you do have a block or a bolster nearby, you could also choose to raise your pelvis a little bit for that inversion feeling. So just a little bit of height underneath the pelvis. Make sure the lower back is cozy. I would say for B, if you want to just take a moment to lie flat, and then you can roll and reach for the bolster, maybe roll onto your side and reach for the bolster. Just maybe take a moment to roll on to your side and would have to come back to your position, sorry. But just make sure the lower back is comfortable. And we're going to enjoy Viparita Karani, this inverted action. It's really beautiful mudra. It's actually a mudrasana. It serves to balance the nervous system and balance the subtle energies in the body. And last little cozy for B. If you turn the chair, like turn the chair to the side, and then you can actually put your legs over the side of the chair. Well, that's good too. Just make sure the legs are cozy. Yeah, just make sure the legs are cozy. If you want to just turn the chair like just on its side, like just 90 degrees, you can turn the backrest to the side. Sorry. Want to make sure you're most cozy. There you go. Hope that's comfortable. Just deeply rest. You'll feel the pelvis is lifted. You'll feel the heart is a little bit lifted in this position. And it's a beautiful analogy of just reversing the imbalance of the times. You said there's a lot of heated energy, there's a lot of inflammation, there's a lot of stress present, a lot of sun energy that's dominant. So here, this Viparita Karani, it really inverts the action of the time. It's bringing in cooling, calming, kind of anti-inflammatory properties into the body, into the organs, into the nervous system and the mind. And so here we can deeply rest, just deeply digest. And how the abdomen naturally releases in this position, releasing any tension, any holding that may be present in the lower or the middle abdomen. We can introduce a few gentle sighs if it feels comfortable for us. Really down-regulates, detoxifies the nervous system, the mind. We'll just softly exhale a few gentle sighs. Feel how deeper and deeper the abdomen can settle and rest. We'll do a few rounds of just soft exhalations. So as we're laying back, it's a nice opportunity to deeply down-regulate. So we'll just take a few gentle breaths as we're lying back. And to close, we're gonna chant. Take care. go easy. So we're gonna just seal up chanting together on. So 4 breaths out. And 3 more gentle breaths. And we'll vibrate on together. Chatushparasana. Deeply bow into the heart space. And then you're ready to move the fingers and the feet gently. It's nice and slowly. gently the support from underneath the lumbar. And when you're ready to hug the knees in, just to release the back, just take a moment. And then we'll slowly roll onto our right side. It's really coming up nice and restful. We'll get nice and gentle. Okay, so we say thank you for sharing the morning practice.